Hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast. Back after a few weeks off just to refresh ourselves, primed after the draft, after the schedule release. Joining me back on the couch at Danny Webb at AGSAU. I forgot. Oh, it's been a few weeks. I'm a bit rusty.
It doesn't have two ats in it, but yes, it's so good to be back. And what a week to be back with all the news that's just dropped. Like, how could you not do an episode this week?
It was called an emergency pod. We were coming on anyway, but we needed an emergency pod at Charlie Pick. How are you, mate?
I'm really good. I had a hectic time lately, but it's so good to be back the facility.
It is.
Finally back for OTAs. We're back in, getting work, getting ready for the season.
Because you guys had a podcast, but this is my first since the draft. I'm feeling very refreshed.
Well, sometimes you need a little bit of a holiday, mate. You're looking a bit weathered.
I was weathered. I'm the oldest 34-year-old getting around. You did mention we've had a few very big bits of news dropped, and we're going to get straight into it. Myles Garrett, he's at the Rams. It's not the first time the Rams have said, you know what, fuck the picks. We don't want the picks. We want the players, and we're playing for right now. Matthew Stafford coming to mind straight away. That was the last time Super Bowl was in LA. They obviously won it. Super Bowl in LA this year. They've made a massive splash, and now they're $6.50 favourites.
Yeah, they've got to be favourites with this, don't they? It's just crazy. Like, you talk about them saying fuck the draft, because that's exactly what they've done. You look back at their past 10 years of first round draft picks, and it's like no one traded. Ty Simpson traded. Like, it doesn't really make sense on why they actually went after Ty Simpson, especially when you look at something like this. Like, if this was on the cards, you're clearly going all in. Don't draft a QB in the first round. They're 100%. They should be favourites. They were almost there last year, but they had no ability to stop anyone on defense. I think, if you combine both the Seattle games, they gave up 69 points towards the Super Bowl. You can't be doing that. Defense wins championships. We talk about that all the time. And then now what have they done? They've gone out and got Myles Garrett, the Defensive Player of the Year, to go along with their reigning MVP. They're going to be a scary team to face.
And there's rumours that Aaron Donald wants to come back too.
What? See, that rumour, we could get to that in a moment. Really? What?
Hashtag ready.
Yeah, hashtag ready. I love the little sing and dance.
It's interesting. They are, in particular, what they're doing is they're repeating the Von Miller move from a few years ago when he was kind of the piece that they were missing before the extra piece on defense that they needed when they went for a Super Bowl, and it's a strategy that worked for them. And you would have to say, I think you're 100% right. Obviously the Seattle running game was doing really well, but Darnold was able to just move the ball on them fast, throwing it down the field, when they really needed it in those close games against the Rams. And that was the difference between those two sides. The fact that they can put extra pressure, and there's no more pressure you can put on a quarterback than Myles Garrett, that will absolutely it'll be harder for Seattle to fight that as far as the real rivals in their division and whoever they come up against. Myles Garrett, any team would want him, and I think their strategy is 100% on the money. Stafford, this time last year we were talking about him in epidurals and barometric chambers and getting the bends if he resurfaced too quickly or whatever, but he's obviously got enough juice. He signed a 2-year deal. They really do want a Super Bowl, and McVay, I don't think really cares. If he can get another Super Bowl with Stafford, he'll get on his horse and ride out of town and be perfectly happy. And the Rams after that, well, they can pick up the pieces and they can rebuild like everyone has to, and they'll rebuild around a guy called Myles Garrett. So that's a pretty good place to be.
And
or
Ty
they can trade him away and Ty Simpson, future Hall of Famer Ty Simpson. But also, strategically, they've kept Myles Garrett on the same contract. I don't know if you've seen this. They might be restructuring how much is this year.
He's definitely restructuring.
But it's the same sort of value deal. It's the same term of the contract, the same total money, $204 million or something like that. That is a great piece to trade again if you want them picks back. They can go win a Super Bowl and then trade, Myles Garrett to get picks for their rebuild. It's really well done by the Rams. It almost feels unfair.
He did, yes. They've manipulated it very, very well. And that's, someone has said, I've watched a few Adam Schefter a lot lately, you can find the money. Aaron Donald, they're like, oh, we'll squeeze the cap. You'll find the money in this league these days. Garrett has or is reworking the contract. But a funny tidbit that I found, so he was planning this trade for longer than we all thought. So at the end of the season, start of the year, we'll say, he reworked his contract with the Browns to move his signing bonuses or early season bonuses to just before the start of the season, which just leaves it open for them to trade, and then it just passes off. I think it's like $50 million or something that they've now off their books. So well done to the Browns too. Jared Verse.
You don't hear that often. Well done to the Browns. No, that's remarkable.
They've got 2 first-round picks. There's only 2 teams that have multiple first-round picks in this next draft, which everyone is saying is...
It's the draft.
It's the draft of the last 10 years kind of thing.
They could almost draft 2 quarterbacks.
They could have 7 on their roster. So they've got them, and the Jets have 2 first-rounders in this next awesome draft. Plus they've got Jared Verse, who was the future at the Rams and was not happy to be leaving.
Jared Verse has to be seen as another first-round draft pick, like as far as value is concerned.
He was a first-rounder, wasn't he?
Well, I would argue, if I may be so bold, he was a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, I think he was.
But he's worth more than a first-round draft pick. Because there's two types of first-round draft picks. There's a first-round draft pick that you draft and turns out he wasn't really a first-round draft pick. And then there's a first-round draft pick that you draft and he pans out. That's worth a couple of that's worth more. Like, because that is
1.5.
That is such a massive asset. And I think if there is one doubt about the Rams' decision, it is that. Myles Garrett is still, you are going to get value out of Myles Garrett. But Jared Verse was a cost-controlled weapon and is a draft pick that has worked out and is a future... the Browns there have someone that they can build around as well.
Yeah. I think that was the Browns' plan, right? So Myles Garrett's, 30 now-ish?
Yeah.
And then, but Jared Verse is even younger. So, they knew that Myles Garrett was at the peak of his career where the Browns clearly are not. So let's bring in someone who's not quite at the peak, who can eventually get there, but hopefully by the time they've put all these draft picks together and actually come up with a team that can compete, well then, by the time they're doing that, Jared Verse will be in his prime.
I think it is the first time, possibly ever, we've said well done to the Browns, except for, obviously, Draft Day, the movie, where everyone said well done, Browns.
They had a great day. They had a great day.
That seems it's probably the real-life version of that. They got in a couple of first-rounders and the future of the Rams, really, in the pick, which just leads to the Rams saying, fuck the future, we're going now. We're getting rid of our future.
But just for argument's sake, weren't we all saying that before? When they won the Super Bowl the last time and they said they bent the cap and everyone said, oh, well, they're goosed.
One and done.
They're done. Yeah, they're done for now, but it was worth it. They got one. They've been competing. They had, one down year in there because of, largely injuries.
And the schedule.
Yeah, that's right.
Schedule.
And then they were back in contention straight away. It's... I think maybe the idea that you've got no chance, if you spend the house to succeed, I think you can find a way.
They're showing the way. This is the way to do it in modern times is, build it for now and then work the rest out later. Before we move on, one little comment just to get your idea on it. Are they Seahawks got worse, Rams got better? Are they clearly better than the Seahawks, the defending champions?
I'd say they were almost arguably better than them last year if they
They did beat them 3 times.
If they had a defensive piece, which they didn't have, and now they've gone out and got it. And just one more compliment back to the Browns. So the Browns with the Myles Garrett trade as well, they wanted a defensive player in return. So it
was all about the picks, and then once they threw Verse in, that's when it got it over the line.
No, it had to be Verse. So Philly was actually talking to him, Howie's obviously going to be doing Howie's things. If there's any major player that's going to trade, Howie's picking up the phone. But they said they wanted Jalen Carter, and Howie said no because he wasn't willing to trade away the future. But that was the sticking point of why Philly actually couldn't get the trade done. So getting someone like Jared Verse back was a must. It wasn't an option for the Browns. It wasn't a maybe. It was no, you're sending us a player who will be a future potential defensive player of the year.
Well done, Browns.
Well done, Browns.
Speaking of...
And... Deshaun Watson looking good, huh? I've seen some tape. He's throwing the ball. Deshaun Watson, that one's going to pay off. Yeah, time will tell on that deal.
When they sign him again.
Yeah.
AJ Brown. It's finally come true. June 1st, it happened. Wasn't a surprise, but still one of those kicking the agates kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it was happening, wasn't it? It was June 1st. Everyone was saying that it was going to happen on June 1st. It was the same thing. It's a way to spread his cap hit rather than having $50 million come off the cap this year. It's 16 and whatever the following year. A first was a must, which was good. Would have loved a first and a third.
But also the first is in 2028.
Yeah. So
2027 second or fifth or something?
Fifth. 27 fifth. 28 first. And I think Howie was just like, as long as the first is coming back, like, you know, there will still be talent. Like, it's still early when we're looking at the 2028 draft. Like, we're looking pretty far in the head. Anything can change in those 2 years. So the fact that we still got a first back, great. The fifth would have loved to be a third, but it's Howie, so it might end up being a third in the end. Like, you know, he's probably going to end up trading it anyway. But the fact that he's one of the Patriots hurt.
Damn it. I was holding off so hard, and then you looked at me.
You're so professional.
I was doing so well.
But yeah, so like he wanted to be a Patriot. He's been like, he's weirdly like humbled and happy to be there, which, like, you know, if you pout your way out of a team and a franchise, Philly couldn't make it work anymore. It was done. It was clear. Writing was on the wall. He was bloody reading a book on the sideline. I was hopeful that we're going to keep him because he's obviously one of the best wide receivers in the league. So you want that on your team. But if he's lost all connection with Jalen Hurts, and they've come out and said they still have love for each other, but like, it was so clear.
He didn't go to his wedding.
Oh no, off the field he did not go to his wedding.
Did you see the press conference though with Jalen Hurts
when he
he sipped his water and he said how beautiful the photos were from his wedding?
Yeah,
it's like, says the guy that wasn't invited to the wedding. Like, that was or chose not to go to the wedding. Like, that was,
which would be worse.
That was really telling. I thought that like that was not, we're still friends and we, you know, I love him like a brother. That was not accurate.
No, and you could tell he was gone. Like, we drafted, our first draft pick was Mekhi Lemon. Like, you know, and then the second one was Eli Stowers, who's a receiving tight end. You know, like, it was on the wall that we were losing AJ Brown. The shit part is Mekhi Lemon's already done a hamstring in the optional OTAs that have already started. So, like, after a bumpy start, I am a little bit nervous that Philly's receiver core now, like, you obviously take out AJ Brown, massive piece, but Devontae Smith's going to be dominant, and he clearly was. But the room feels a little bit more empty now. Maybe it's because AJ Brown's massive shoulders aren't.
Yeah, he does take up a couple of seats. It's interesting, like those questions about the receiver room, I think, are like, if Mekhi Lemon, like, let's be honest, every day is crucial if you are a receiver that has been drafted, because you have to learn the playbook. You have to get on the same page as the quarterback. You have to have that rhythm. And he's, no offense, we've talked about it before, a quarterback who has been a bit patchy in the passing game. Like, that he's not like, it's not like he is 100% rolling and a receiver can sort of adapt to that. They are building a new rhythm and a new room and a new plan. And I think it opens up the possibility that there aren't quite enough other wide receivers for the opposition to target, which makes Devontae Smith's role as that wide receiver one that he's stepping into, that he is absolutely capable to do. But if he is the only major target that you need to take out, that is much harder. There's a lot to say about this, though. There was a story that came out overnight. AJ Brown, it was reported as a quote from him to a Brooklyn podcast, right? And he was saying that he was leaking stories about how things weren't working inside the receiver room and inside the offense at the Eagles, and he was putting the stories out there to motivate the team and make them fight harder and be honest. And if that is the case, good luck, Patriots.
Yeah,
that sounds wild. It was reported as a quote from him. I haven't heard and seen him say it, but that's an incredible concept if it's true.
It's almost like the whole Michael Jordan theory, you know, when he was going through his championships and he was just like picking a player on the team and being like, he said something really bad about my family, just to create anger. Like, that's a self motivator.
Fine to do it for yourself.
All for that. Do not leak information that you're unhappy. But I disagree that he was doing it to motivate the team. I think he was doing it to motivate the team to trade him. You know, so you
want to throw him the damn ball. Like, one of two.
But like, AJ Brown didn't have a good season even when he was getting thrown the ball. Like, so I know you said Jalen Hurts didn't have the perfect passing season. That's fine. I agree with that. I've got faith that he'll be able to come back because he's, you know, went to 2 Super Bowls. If he had won the first Super Bowl, we would have had 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And like, he's undoubtedly,
that is how maths works.
Undoubtedly, when he is on. So like, I feel like that can come back. I'm not too stressed about that. But AJ Brown last year was dropping some sitters in very important moments and then losing the game. So if you're going to drop easy passes that are clear catches and potentially like running for a touchdown, and then go and complain to other podcasts and leak stories that, you know, the wide receiver room is falling apart, well, maybe it was your fault.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible. I want to just look at some other winners and losers here. I think a winner, you know, could be Drake May because he's got a really good receiver to throw to, and this is, I think, this year's going to be a real test of Drake May. Their schedule's harder for the Patriots. And you really saw last year there was so much hype around Drake May's season. But when they came up against harder opponents, like they did struggle. Like the Patriots
Like
did.
the Super Bowl?
Yeah, like the Super Bowl. But that's right. But there were big games against better opponents, and they really did struggle. And they really crashed against walls. Like the Denver game, Denver lost their quarterback the week before the AFC Championship game. That's not really as much of a test for that team at all. But I think there's a question over Drake May about a tougher schedule. How do you go now? What's the regression? Can he maintain? Can he have another season like that? AJ Brown helps that question. I really do think that the big winner in all this is Mike Vrabel, who's got something else to talk about except Diana Rossini, which was a dominant damn story.
He's going to talk to Diana Rossini about it.
Oh, that's right. She's got a source.
Well, you would have thought that she would have been able to break the news. But obviously not.
She's been sitting on that for ages. But it is interesting, Patriots, it's good news for them, but it has been because of Mike Vrabel, a really tough offseason. We talked about it. The idea that your coach is not at the draft because he's off at counselling and that and then he was not in the facility after. Your coach should be there every hour that everyone else is there.
Kind of
That's exactly right. It really changes it. How does that change his leadership, his ownership of that room, and his control in the facility? Those sorts of things can fester, particularly around this time of year when everyone's got too much time to talk. It's not necessarily smooth sailing for the Patriots. AJ Brown is an asset, but at the same time, his performance has dipped. He's still an absolute weapon. Any team would take him, but, buyer beware a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like this Drake May to me is the biggest winner out of all of this because he was second in MVP voting last year, and when he was throwing to Stephon Diggs, who did he even get 1,000 yards in the season? I'm
not sure he did get more than 1,000 yards in the season.
Yeah, so
no, but I'm saying there was some debate this week going they could have had Stephon Diggs for heaps cheaper than a first and a fifth. And got the same numbers. Got numbers that they would be happy with AJ Brown. I'm just playing devil's advocate on that. I don't think Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown are the same receiver. AJ Brown is a much bigger weapon. Stephon Diggs is aging out and he's a good slot receiver now. But as far as pure metrics, if they get a Stephon Diggs season out of AJ Brown, they'll be calling it a success. How's that? Controversial? Too much?
So what do you need? Because if you got 1,000 yards, so you say...
Got 75. He got 75.
So
90 receptions. 90 receptions.
You want 100 receptions and 1,200 yards or something like that.
Yeah, you got to get to at least that. Yeah.
Anyway. There is other
I didn't
news.
mean to cut you off.
No, there's other news. We have heard from AJ Brown that Diana Rossini is in the facility as well. So that was just leaked to us.
Wow.
yeah.
So the Giants had a pretty big day on June 1st as well. Signed OBJ after 8 years, trading him away.
He's coming home.
This is great for
He's
football. I
coming
love
home.
this. They also added Juju Smith-Schuster and Braxton Berrios, the veteran wide receiver as well. So I like this. The Giants are scary good.
I said
could be scary good for you.
I said ages ago that the Giants are potentially that team that is going to flip the script and make their way. They're building a perfect piece sort of thing all around Jackson Dart. Scatterboo's going to be coming back. Malik Neighbours coming back, and they're all rally. They're a fun team to watch again. I think that's important for the NFL. The Giants are actually,
if they stay healthy, they're going to be good.
Mate, they've got to be.
Might not make the end of the season.
No, because he runs into everyone like a cannonball. Just hopefully he doesn't break his other ankle because you kind of need them to run.
Watched it live.
It's interesting though, there's some great names, but that's at the same time that's some old names.
Yeah,
OBJ is
hasn't played for a couple of years,
and it's OBJ. The question is when does he play in the season? How much do you play him? Is he week on, week off to maintain him?
He's fresh.
Yeah, because if he plays the whole season from the start of the season, there's a chance he's clapped out by, week 13. He could easily have that late season fade because his body's not up to it. And Juju Smith-Schuster is a good but not great receiver now.
Yeah.
He's played in some big games. He's made some big
Braxton Berrios is probably the most consistent out of all three of them.
Yeah. But I think, I don't think that's all your answers there. You know, and
it's exciting,
It is
especially for
exciting.
New York.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good story, and it's great to feed that media market. And hey, we all like.
We are the media. You know
Yeah,
that,
I know, but we all like names we know. You know, that is good. But I thought I was pretty interested. The Jackson Dart Donald Trump controversy, I thought was pretty interesting.
Nearly blew up the team before.
That's right. That's right. He had to closed door team meeting to talk it out afterwards. If you missed the story, he
I did actually.
he was asked to introduce Donald Trump at a public event, right?
Right.
And you know, he can believe what he wants, he can politically whatever, but Donald Trump has some policies that maybe for a majority of that team are a bit problematic, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not great on race relations, we'll say that. But Jackson Dart wasn't just it's an honour to introduce the President of the United States. He got up and he talked about what a brilliant, great, wonderful guy he was.
He
and
went over
perfect
the
in
top.
every way. He went absolutely over the top. And then
While wearing a MAGA hat.
yeah. So the team, like there was obvious ructions within the team about that, and it's just interesting. I think it's a wise thing for sports, for sports people. They can believe whatever they want, but he would have saved himself a big headache. Also, in New York, Trump may come from New York, but no one in New York likes Donald Trump. Yeah. Like it is bad for the fan base. It actually shows like a real lack of awareness that during OTAs they're having closed door meetings, so other players can speak their mind to him about why that was a bad idea, and him try and communicate how he didn't mean anything by it. And then all the press conferences afterwards have been utterly unconvincing. And it is just political issue like that shouldn't affect the football on the field. But if it's what people are talking about and you're having to have meetings about that rather than meetings about how to play football good, then that is a terrible way to run your preseason.
And that's funny because that's exactly how you have to speak to Cam Scatterbo. Just, you be good ball forward.
Yeah.
You take ball, run. Speaking of the Giants, Russell Wilson left the Giants, put his career on pause. This is a big thing. He's put his career on pause and he's joined CBS.
Like, I nearly dislocated my retinas by rolling my eyes so hard when you say that he's put his career on pause. Like, he's got to be done, right?
Done.
Like, Russell Wilson, come on, man. Like, incredible career. What was it? 10-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think Russell Wilson will be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's a bit shaded. It's a bit shaded.
That doesn't mean you get it straight away.
No,
but it's
like
a
10-time
bit,
Pro Bowler.
It's a bit shaded by his later years, which were utterly underwhelming. The way things finished at Seattle was
the way people spoke about him after he left Seattle to be like, hang on a minute, maybe he wasn't this. Everyone loved him. It was all about Team 3.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. But there's been plenty of egomaniacs get admitted to the Hall of Fame. Like there's no rule that says, if you think you're the best in the world, then you don't get into the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But I think he has a body of work in his career that is really impressive and a record that is worthy of a Hall of Fame spot.
Are we excited to see him on CBS? How do we reckon he's going to go? I don't think he can talk that well.
He's not. Yeah, I was going to say he's not the most charismatic talk at all. Like I wouldn't even say he's captivating, like in his interviews, Well, I'm excited to see it though, because then get to see if there really was a pause. Yeah. I can't even get through his sentence.
Yeah, I'm the same. In any sport, the ex-player turned great commentator is wonderful to see. But it is equally as enjoyable to see ex-player turned commentator that is terrible. Just like when for one season, for the length of one contract, you could tell everyone there is just going, oh God, when is this going to be over? When is this contract going to end? So even if it's that's entertaining. I've never found him that great at talking as a human. No. But I wonder...
Get Jameis Winston out there. He'd be the fucking best.
Way better.
But I wonder though, there's also a way that the way that Tom Brady spoke as a quarterback is different to the way that Tom Brady speaks, in special comments. And they are very different people, and the mind that and the depth of knowledge that Tom Brady has is pretty unique. But you don't know. Maybe Russell Wilson has been portraying himself in the image of
that's right. Hopefully it's just
quietly spoken quarterback, enigmatic figure. Hey, Broncos, let's ride. Like that guy. Broncos country, let's ride. Maybe there is more there when he's not worried about perception as a leader of a team and all of that. Yeah.
and it might be all right. So we'll be tuning in. We'll be.
But I doubt it. I want to say I doubt it. I think it's going to be awful.
I'm all for it as well, like, because he, obviously bounced around a couple of teams and then got benched a couple of times. So, like, when he's saying he's going to put his career on pause is the thing that's taken me most by surprise. Like, just retire. Like, you ain't going to commentate. You ain't going to commentate for a year and then coming back, are you?
Nah. But he'll stay ready. Aaron Donald, him and training.
Hashtag ready.
Hashtag ready, singing a little song, the tune. All right.
Derek Carr has more chance of playing quarterback again in the NFL.
He's pretty banged up too. Shoulders cooked still.
There you go. That's my hard.
Maybe he comes back. Wasn't he a baseballer?
Who?
Wilson.
Was he?
I think so. Fact check me. I know Kyler Murray was.
Yeah, that's the thing everyone says about Kyler Murray is like
he might go
he
back.
should just go and play for the Astros. You know, like
there's a chance.
Hey, he's going to take over the Vikings.
Yeah, week 1 against the Packers. Speaking of the schedule, I have a few tidbits, and I just want your 10, 15 seconds each on all of these tidbits as we go through from the schedule that came out 2 weeks ago now as we go to air. The Rams, this is obviously pre-Garrett, they decided all this. 7 primetime games, the most out of anyone. They obviously, people say it's scripted and they knew what was happening, that they're going to be good this year.
Well, like we said off the top of the show, they were knocking on the door to the Super Bowl anyway. So when ever a team does that, the second year when they go and they trade their future away and get defensive players, like the writing was on the wall for that. So like I'm not really surprised. Plus, it's the LA effect. You look at what LA
and LA Super Bowl too.
LA Super Bowl, like they probably want LA to be in it. Look at what LA has done as a city. Like they've got like Luka Doncic came. Then now you got Myles Garrett come. Like all these players, all these superstars. Yeah, exactly, for the baseball. All these players have come to LA, like all the big names. So it's just the LA effect.
What's the tax bracket there?
It's not amazing. It's not particularly appealing. It's not as bad as New York, but it's not like Florida or Texas or Delaware that's far more forgiving.
Florida is definitely the way to go.
But it's
Delaware. Nice.
It's interesting.
Yeah, Delaware's wild, man.
At the risk of getting too granular about this, there is that phenomenon that you're talking about. At the same time, because of like the rise of streaming and production is going everywhere in the world, there's less of the Hollywood movie and TV production going on. That's affected that industry. But sports media is still growing. And so there is a way that a lot of that production muscle of Hollywood and of LA is shifting more into sport, and that's becoming a bigger show. And this plays into that in a big way.
Netflix, based out of LA, 3 games for Rams on Netflix.
That is huge. And the other thing you have to say as well, if they are the team that is willing / were made to play an in-season game as far away as Australia, they deserve a primetime slot for that game. Like that, that is a difficult thing. That's probably the logistically as hard a thing as a team has done. The Niners and the Rams, no one's played in a time zone that far away before and really lived to tell the tale. So they deserve an extra primetime game for that.
That leads straight into my next one. And I kind of put it at you as I feel like, oh, no, you've done a few air miles. The 49ers, this might have come down to why Shanahan was so annoyed about coming down here, and he's very openly about being annoyed. They've got the most air miles, 38,000 air miles, compared to the Panthers, who have the least at 8,700. I did the maths, and I've forgotten the exact number, but to put it in Australian terms, it's like Melbourne to Perth, something like 28 times compared to like 3 or 4.
That's huge. I think that genuinely does make a difference, particularly given
because they're going to Mexico as well, I think.
The
49ers, yeah.
Do we know...
They got 2 international games.
Do we know they're not running drugs? It just feels that there's that much trouble, that there is something else going on with the 49ers. Oh, we're popping down to Mexico, then we're popping over. Yeah.
Have you heard Australia's drug culture's pretty good, isn't it?
They're travelling by submarine. It's suspicious. That takes a toll, given that they practice inside a power station. You know the theory that they're close to a power facility and that's why they've got more soft tissue injuries than anyone else?
Correct.
So, like, I think they are maybe justified in being a bit pissed off. You look at that. The Panthers, that's nothing. Like, the disparity
it's
of
like
travel
3
there.
times from
The disparity
Melbourne
of that travel there is huge. And that should be something like, who knows how much they factor this into the schedule and the way they arrange it. But that is... like, that's a massive difference between those two teams. And the less far you have to travel, the more rested your players are. It actually makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I'm sure they're flying around in pretty big jets, though. They'll be fine.
And they'll have a lot of points to spend on the Qantas shop.
Oh,
They're all getting a new
American
sound bar for their
Airlines.
TV and a
American
coffee
Airlines.
machine.
Speaking of jets, the New York Jets, and I love that the creative team at the Jets have sold this to the fans as we have a family-friendly time slots this year. All but 2 of their games are at the 1 p.m. or the very, very early for us, 3, 4, 5 o'clock a.m. So 7, 8, or 15 out of 17 games at the early slot. So they're family-friendly. They're home before 6 o'clock.
It's a good spin. And that's if I know one thing about New York City, regardless of what the songs tell you, everyone's in bed by 9. But it's interesting with that. That is punishment.
Yes.
Like, that is a punishment for poor performance. Because if you look at the previous few seasons, for a team that did not have a winning record, but everyone was saying, nah, this year they're going to be good, they got more primetime games than they deserved before. And I think now they're going, we do not trust you anymore.
You'll see by the
Aaron
teams
Glenn,
that
you
have
have to
no
get them working.
primetime games. It's them, Cardinals, and there's one more which will be a bit of a surprise, which I'll talk about later. But it's the teams that have struggled and are not pulling in the numbers, obviously, that they should be. And like I said, got more games than they should have. Rodgers obviously bringing a lot of that in. And then last year, if they got 1, that's too many. So this year they've said, nah, you're getting 0. But yeah, I love it. All of it at 1 o'clock, which could be the reverse effect. Really, really good for them to, they know every week they're going to be on a schedule and know what they're doing. The Ravens, their first 7 games, Danny, are against teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. So they could be red hot. And I've heard Lamar is in preseason form.
Like how he always is.
Yes.
Like we get the
He
same
is
story every single
primed.
time, and then as soon as it comes to the playoffs, he disappears. He just
But over the
vanishes.
first 7 games, they could be 7 and zip.
They could be 7 and zip. But
The thing is, when they get to the playoffs, they will play against teams that make the playoffs. So that's they won't be prepared.
The first team in the playoffs, made the playoffs.
I feel like we've seen this time and time again before. Like when teams have like a easy-ish schedule, like it gets them a fair bit of momentum. They get a lot of wins on the board, but then once they start coming up against tougher teams, then they start losing, and then like they lose all of that momentum, and then they really struggle to get it back. Like Philly have done that previously. It was after the Super Bowl year. They won like 10 straight and then lost the rest of the games and were first round exit out of the playoffs because you're not tested. They need to be tested. It makes you a better player. Like steel sharpens steel. I think they might be happy about it down there in Baltimore. I don't think it's a great thing for the team or the organization.
They do have the Colts and Jones week 1.
Be interesting to see where Daniel Jones is at week 1. That's an intriguing matchup.
Jonathan Taylor also.
Particularly, I would say, like, without reading too much into it, they played one of the better games of the season, round 1, and I reckon they were psychologically broken by it.
But
They did not have the psychological rigor.
They were rooted.
They did not.
And the same thing happened the year before. The similar setup against Kansas where they lost toe tapping on the line.
That's right.
And they had 2 or 3 after that as well. So.
And you would say, I mean, they've got a new coach. Like it is a different situation, but there is I think a psychological toughness question mark. And you talk about their performance in the playoffs. They made errors. They turned the ball over when they had opportunities in the playoffs to go further. So there's the psychological toughness question about the Ravens.
That's the year before. They didn't make it this year.
Oh, that's right. They didn't.
Lost,
No,
they lost and lost the coach.
But that's right. Yeah, there are questions about their ability to take that further step. Psychologically, are they capable of it? And I agree, like, because on the flip side, and obviously everyone knows their own schedule really well, the Bills have an absolute gauntlet to start the season. Like, just most of them are the teams that didn't make the playoffs that we've got are like the Chiefs, and Mahomes is looking good again. Like it's a tougher start to the schedule. But if you think about, all right, what's happening in those first 7 games is every team, regardless of how well they start, are figuring themselves out. Now, if you take on good teams that are figuring themselves out, it's going to make you better. Iron sharpens iron. But also, isn't that opportunities to beat those better teams while they're figuring themselves out? Whereas if you've got a run of easy beats, by the time you get the tough teams, they're rolling. They're in a rhythm. They've figured out their weaknesses and strengths. They've self-scouted. They might even have hit a bye by then and really sorted everything out, and they've just got momentum. It could be a terrible. They could have a bad start if they lose against the Colts and get knocked about by that mentally. They've got a new coach. Remember, they're getting used to a new regime. they could have a bad start and then a horror run home. There's no guarantees for the Ravens this year.
The Jags. This is a stat that I heard blew my mind a little bit, especially when you're like, oh, fuck, hang on a minute. From weeks 4 to week 16, they play 3 home games.
Yeah, is this because they're London?
They have 2 games in London.
Yeah,
they
which also, is technically theirs, isn't it? Like,
2 home games because they stay there. And they have
Tottenham
their
Jaguars.
stadium's getting a bit of work. So during that time, they've shipped off a couple of games. So, yeah, in 12 weeks, they have 3 home games.
I don't know how to run a football team. And I don't know how to run a stadium.
I can't wait for this.
But if I was going to do a little bit of work on my stadium, I'd probably schedule it not during the season, like not in the middle, not between, between games 4 and 16. I don't think that's when I would schedule that work on the stadium. That's insane. What are you doing?
What are they doing in the off-season?
I thought their draft was fucked up.
Do they have a soccer team that's making more money than the football team?
Yeah.
So they're like, nah, fuck it, we'll use it for them.
I was so all in on the Jags for turning around the season last year and like wildly predicted the correct record, which is great. Like, little self-pat on the back for that one. I can't see them repeating it this year. I can't.
No. I mean, it would be hard to repeat that record anyway. And you would say that, like, yeah, I think they've got a more competitive division this year than they did last year.
Yeah, it's open again. Both the Souths are very
Souths
open
are getting tasty in the South.
Yeah.
Little bit spicy.
Speaking of the South, Titans. This is the team that I was a little bit surprised, just purely by new head coach, number 1 draft pick of previous years, no primetime games for the Titans.
Yeah, which is also wild because like we talk about the Netflix effect and we've said it time and time again. Cam Ward's going to be on quarterback.
He is.
For this coming season that's going to be released. So it was filmed the year prior.
And genuine rising star.
Yeah.
Like he looks like he's QB1.
Yeah, for sure. And like I think he's only going to
good QB coach too.
Yeah, and now he's only going to significantly improve. I think it's very interesting. And like Tennessee Titans, they play in Nashville like it's a fun. I'll say it time and time again. It's a very fun city, and like
and they've got the Super Bowl 2030. Surely you're banging them up the next couple.
And it's a showbiz town. Like, it's music, but it is a showbiz town.
Danny knows.
Well, yeah. Well, I was there when Vandy were playing, and like the whole town was a sport town. Like, forget the music. Like, everyone was there to listen to the music, but in between the breaks of songs, there was football chants. It was like, honestly, it was a football town, and it was so good. Like. So I think it's wild that they're kind of steering away from not giving them at least a prime time.
Yeah, I would have thought you're building that up for the next few years. So that's a mistake by the NFL. Last one I have is 2-in-1. No surprise, Cardinals. So it is an American sports book that I got this off, but it's the unders overs for every game. Cardinals are underdogs in every single game, not favoured to win one.
Are we surprised by that?
No.
Like,
Not one.
Brissett still hasn't
They
rocked
played
up.
the Jets twice.
That's wild. they should at least be favourites for one of those. But like Jacoby still hasn't shown up. He's still trying to sort out his new contract, and which they haven't been able to get done. So they're not even doing the first team reps with their current QB1. So like there's obviously going to be questions about it there. And yeah, okay, they went out and got Jeremiah Love, who will be dominant, but first season, if you don't have a good O-line, which they don't, if you don't have a good O-line, like your running back's still going to get absolutely hammered too, and you can't just rely on him because your QB hasn't rocked up to OTAs yet.
I think what's most disappointing for the Cardinals is that they are in every game the underdog, but they got rid of their quarterback who technically could walk under a dog. So that's a tough one to take for the Cardinals.
On the flip side, so the Rams are favoured in 16 out of 17. No surprise. That I did, and I won't lie, I checked this before June 1st, so it could be 17 of 17 now.
So who is going to beat the Rams, apparently?
I think it was Seattle in Seattle.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
purely hometown, probably 3-point hometown bump.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it was still a 1.5. So it was still a pick'em game. So even the game they're underdogs in, it's a flip of the coin. Who do you think is second with the most amount of... So it's 15 out of 17. Don't look at my notes. Who do you think
Okay,
second?
can we get a hint? Is this based on them being an amazing team, or is it based on a weak division?
No, a fairly strong division. I think it's based on a healthy quarterback.
Well, then that makes it very obvious.
Who?
It's got to be the Bengals.
It is 15 out of 17. I think they have an easier schedule as well, missing the playoffs. They've got that easier because they're playing the third ranked in the other divisions.
Sexy Dexy's back. Is it the Sexy Dexy
And also
effect?
that all they had, so they've gone out and got 8 players, 2 drafted and 6 they've brought in that could potentially start on their defense, and their defense is their problem. So
It's been the problem for years.
So I think that's also got to do with it. But healthy Joe, they're 15 out of...
Will Joe be healthy?
Well, I was going to say, if
Well,
you're basing
that flips it.
15 of 17 on their healthy quarterback,
Yeah.
my question was,
Is that no
with the
surgeries?
Bengals, would
No
you base
surgeries
would
yet?
you base anything on a healthy quarterback?
No surgeries yet. That's all I'm saying.
well,
Yeah, he's saving them up for when he gets injured again. He doesn't want to blow his he doesn't want to blow his what is it, the excess on his insurance? Like he doesn't want to blow it
He's
now.
gotta get
What is it? His
gotta get to
deductible.
October
He doesn't
and
want to
then
do
it
the
starts.
deductible now. He wants to save it. He's got a bunch of things that need clearing up. He's going to do them all at once.
Oh, we spoke.
October it starts again, so he's good then.
Yeah, we spoke. We speak about Joe every year when he gets injured, and I think we spoke about it a lot last season when he did. Was if he keeps on getting injured like this, is he going to be one of those players that could have been amazing QB, but was always injured and never finished the season, never took his team back to the Super Bowl after his first time that he did it. He's got such a big question mark. If he can actually get through a season healthy, then I'll believe that they're going to be favourites. But at this point, right now, no way am I taking them 15 out of 17 times. They are not going to be my survivor pick.
If he's unhealthy, 15 out of 17, they're underdogs. So, we'll see what happens. All right, last one. It's been a great episode. We don't go for too long, but just last sort of thing. Do you guys believe in the Madden curse? Yes or no?
Yeah, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it checks out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far,
Actually,
so good.
really checks
Saquon was last year. Didn't get injured or anything, but
yeah.
had a down year. So,
Big time down, yeah.
so I'm saying yes.
Allen had
Missed playoffs.
miss playoffs.
Missed the MVP.
Missed the MVP that year. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So there's something in there. So Caleb Williams is 27 cover. I've actually made one for all three of
Why are
us,
you so
which I've
happy
shown.
about this?
So I messaged good friend of the show, Adam Denston, and he sent us a little voice message. So this is what his thoughts on the Madden curse.
Quick message to all the Any Given Sunday listeners and NFL fans in general. If you don't think that Madden cover is the greatest cover in history, you are sadly mistaken. If you can't recognise that it's the recreating in honour of the Air Jordan picture with the Chicago skyline in the background, you're wasting your time. And if you don't think Caleb's going back to back with Madden covers and throw them for over 4,000 this season, you're kidding yourself. So just settle down. The Iceman's here, and we're taking it all the way.
I
God,
like
he's
that
good. He's so good.
He's so good, but I love that he's saying settle down and he's talking about back-to-back Madden covers.
Yeah, he's already got
That is, the lid is off.
4,000 yards again. He missed that last year.
I'm all in on the 4,000 yards because, he didn't get it
He
last
lost
year.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, but aren't they getting, there's talks of Debo Samuel going there and Stephon Diggs.
I hope Stephon Diggs, he'll burn that place down, which will be grouse.
That'll be fascinating to watch.
I do like the fact that it's homage to Michael Jordan, and we're doing cross code sports. I really like that. Chicago, it's Michael's city. You know what I mean? After everything he did there, 6 championships, all of that. Incredible run. I think it's really, really cool that the Chicago and Madden have gone to honor that. I'm all for that. I'm not 100% sure if it was a bit early for Caleb to be a Madden cover.
I was going to say that was my thought on it. He's a promising talent. He had a great season. He has made some plays that are great. But have a look at who there's been previously. Saquon, CMC, Josh Allen, Mahomes. You would say that you're looking at
We're a different tier.
consistent performance of year upon year upon year being elite.
But they won the NFC North, which this year they will not. Detroit Lions will win it. Packers will be second. The Detroit Lions, they
tell you
finish
what,
fucking fourth. They've got the easiest.
The North is really, that's another one that's tasty this year. I think there's big questions all over the place.
Yeah, Vikings are fucked. But the rest
How's
of
your running back room?
Hey, he made it. He's at OTAs. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I called in a talkback show the other day. He said no, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
happy that he's at OTAs and it's all going forward.
Yeah.
That's a talk for another week. Good to be back, boys. I felt a little bit rusty to start with, but it feels like we finished pretty strong. So
I don't know. I thought Danny and I hit the ground running.
But it was talking about rest versus rust, like, you know, like after the
That's
bye.
it,
And fuck, yeah, you were rusty.
yeah, I was, but I feel good now. So back next week. Knicks in 6. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Knicks in 6?
Knicks in 6.
That's
I,
not
I,
bad.
I love a game 7, but Knicks in 6.
Yeah,
I reckon
I think it
Spurs
might
in
even be
6.
less than 6.
Knicks
I've
in
been
4.
watching the Knicks very
Brunson's
closely.
very good.
Brunson's on fire, but also like I've seen them be down 20 points and still win, and I've seen
And win
And
by
so have the
20.
Spurs, though.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah,
gotta look at the Spurs.
Wemby's too young.
The alien.
No, he's not. He's too
isn't.
tall for humans. But I like you. I mean, it's the Knicks. It will also
Implode.
just as likely go wrong in some
implode.
insane way, and you know, like Spike Lee will have to have welfare checks on Spike Lee. But it is. I think it is a like their run has been great through the playoffs. They are looking great. I
12
think
in a
it
row
could.
now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
But they are New York. No team, including your Bills, have won anything in New York since was it 2011 with Eli Manning. So there could be due.
Could be due.
All right, this isn't an NBA podcast. I like that little chat though. Charlie, as always, subscribe, like, all of those good things. Follow.
Support the podcast, help us grow.
Surprise
Comments
us.
optional. But but just like and subscribe, share with your friends.
See you next week.
Go football.